I'm just checking some things over, folks. Hey, great to have you aboard. You know, I always look forward to coming out here and being with you on these evenings. Weather might be cold and gloomy, might be real hot. Who knows what your weather is cooking for you, but we always cook the best films. We got some wonderful sets of material, got new things coming at you. Got a new one coming at you tonight. Invasion of the Animal People. With a title like that, can't go wrong. Animal People. I don't know why they call it Invasion of the Animal People. It seems like Invasion of the Animal Man. Or a bald-headed guy in a spaceship who seems to have control over an animal guy. So that's more specific. Okay, maybe that's what we should kind of preface this. The title, Animal People, is animal guy who's controlled by a bald guy in a spaceship. Now, this is an interesting Jerry Warren contraption. And by contraption, what do I mean? Well, if you know your Jerry Warren film history, he made two different kinds of films. One, a film that he took from the ground up and directed it and shot it with cast and everything. It's all him, even though he stole all the ideas from somebody else. But you have the other Jerry Warren, where he went out and bought other nations' product and, well, reshot parts to put into it. You're going to get that in here. Got some of the most beautiful long takes of dry monologue going on in here. Likewise, you're going to find that he's sort of re-edited all of this so that it could be re-released in the United States. This is a Swedish-American production originally. And this version that we're looking at was released in 1959, and it's, you'll see that the directors on here is both Virgil Vogel, who did the Mole People, and Jerry Warren. And what the film deals with is basically these scientists who are contacted to go up into the Lapland area. You get a lot of great stock footage of reindeers and a bunch of Laplanders wearing great hats. I'd like to get a hat like those guys wear. And sort of speaking some, well, I guess Laplandese. I really don't know what the language those guys would use up there. But something happens up there that's really cataclysmic. And what it turns out to be is this spaceship. And it's kind of a cool scene where the spaceship it's like a glowing ball of light. Okay? It's like somebody who's watching a screen and just has a flashlight beam going across it. Okay? Got this spaceship coming in and it crashes into this hillside, and you got this bald-headed alien inside who somehow, when they've crashed, and you have to really make some conjectures here, when they've crashed, they unleash this big guy with these big hoofs, kind of a hairy guy, who kind of wanders around and destroys huts and stuff like that. And he terrorizes these scientists who go up there to investigate this kind of thing. And a lot of the footage there is kind of a little bit dry, but I think you're going to enjoy sort of the love interest. There's a lot of great skiing scenes in this film. You might learn how to ski by the time you're done watching this. You might want to go out and ski by the time you're done watching this, because there's a ton of that going on. There's also a guy, the head scientist, played by this Robert Burton, when he wears his sunglasses. Now, don't, when you look at this, watch it and say, that guy looks like John Ford. Put a patch on his eye even further, he looks like John Ford. It's a walking, talking imitation of John Ford. I really enjoyed that. The film itself is sort of a, after its hybridization, after Jerry Warren has had his licks into it, editing in his long takes and things like that, has kind of a combinational feel to it. It kind of is like The Thing. Remember in The Thing, dealing with the Arctic Circle and the spaceship that crashes and is discovered, and the scientist and the army have to kind of figure it out. It's got that feeling to it. It also reminds me of, well, Man Beast, which is another one of those from the bottom up Jerry Warren productions. Man Beast, remember, the guys go up into the Himalayas and they discover Man Beast, okay? And here they discover a kind of a small version of Man Beast, just one of them, not a whole bunch of them. One big hairy guy that walks around and stamps on things. And he looks cool. I like him. The special effects for that thing, and that comes out of the Swedish production, or Swedish-American production, pretty good. It also reminds me of Ega. Got that idea of these modern guys running into something that has, well, a Stone Age thing that has been resurrected. Now, he doesn't get to carry around too much of a woman, okay? But he does get to carry around a lady, okay? When we think of this film also, the film starts off, one of the inserts that's really cool in this is John Carradine. John Carradine does these really long monologues at the beginning of these films where he talks about, well, how can we understand anything? You know, how can we understand anything to be real? What is true? And so on. And how would it be seen by somebody else? And he's got some great dialogue in there. At one point, it starts off, he's sitting next to what looks like a kind of like a telephone, old-fashioned telephone operator switching table. Now, if you know your Jerry Warren, that's pretty typical of him. He'll take things that are mundane things and he'll make them look like they're science fiction. For instance, in The Incredible Petrified World, there's a scene in there where they're trying to build a contraption so they can go back to the bottom of the sea. And at one point, they hand John Carradine a reel from a film, okay, like this. And he's looking at it and he's thinking, how can I work this into my great contraption? Now, you can laugh all you want about Jerry Warren, but you got to say at the same time, with the budget he's got, he's making hay while the sun shines. He's got a reel. He's going to put it in there. You know, none of the stuff that he's got is going to be wasted. He uses every part of his budget. Now, the second part is of John Carradine standing next to a globe. And he's standing there talking about, about this issue about how can you trust anything? Again. Now, his narration pops up periodically through this film. So it ends on an interesting note where Man-Beast, or our big animal guy, is sort of, well, I can't go into what happens to him. I guess I'd ruin that for you. And I want you to have a lot of fun with this, so can't go into that. But it does end with a great piece of monologue, again, of John Carradine. And here's just a snippet of what he says. And this sort of captures the essence of Jerry Warrenism. Memories are diminished as the passing of time provides a past, and equally brings us to the future. And without a future, there would be no present. Just thinking about that boggles my mind. I mean, that is just wild talk. Okay, that whole future past thing, I mean, whew, Jerry Warren is over my head most of the time. Well, I think you're going to enjoy this film. Invasion of the Animal People. It's got a Swedish-American product going on here. You're not going to find any Ingmar Bergman in here, though there is reference to Ingmar Bergman. Maybe you'll see it and catch it. There's some guys in here that it really seem like they're just kind of, leftovers from a Ingmar Bergman film. Well, if we don't get going, we're not going to have any future or present or anything at all. So let's roll 'em, Smokey.